So, for anyone just tuning in, our guest today is Josh Androsky. He's a comedian and an organizer, and the cause at hand today is public banking. We got some super chats I want to give a shout out to. Watson, thank you for the super chat contribution. Bankers thought we give them a crumb, they help themselves, and they cut that crumb in half and get two. Fun metaphor. Appreciate it. Marcus.
Well, really quick, if I could comment on that.
No, please.
That's not just a metaphor. That's actually what happens. Like, when a bank loans out money, it effectively creates money out of nothing, because it calls, so on its balance sheet, it says it has, X amount of deposits, but then when it puts out a loan, it has effectively invented this money, which is why it's so bullshit whenever you hear on the left, like, how are you going to pay for that? How the fuck do bankers pay for their gambling? They literally invent money. So that was a very apt metaphor.
Yes. How are we going to pay? How are we going to pay for all this stuff that countries poorer than us take for granted? How are we going to pay for it?
Yeah.
Marcus, thank you for the super chat contribution. And Marcus's question: what 3 states are most primed to start a public bank?
That's great. Well, so North Dakota already has one. There is one. It was created like 100 years ago, along with something called the People's Grain Silo, which is like super Maoist and tight sounding. But yeah, the very red, state of North Dakota has had a public bank for like 100 years. And it is more profitable than Goldman Sachs and has a better credit rating than JP Morgan Chase, while being way smaller, while also being one of the only banks that didn't, it weathered the 2008 financial crisis like crazy. It made it out relatively scot-free while all these other banks were falling. And part of that is because with public control, there's less risk that's being willing to take. Like, when you're held accountable by voters, you're not going to gamble on mortgage-backed securities. So the first state would be North Dakota. California obviously has a lot of momentum right now. In Los Angeles, there is going to be a measure on the ballot to remove one regulatory hurdle that would allow us to create a public bank of Los Angeles. There's a lot of work going on right now. There's the California Public Banking Alliance has brought together multiple, I think like a couple dozen organizations throughout the state. And then the governor of New Jersey actually was campaigning on starting a state bank. And he is a former Wall Street guy who seems to have seen the light and realizes after being inside the system how devastating it is and wants public control of the banks. So those are the 3 states. Obviously, North Dakota is sort of a cop-out, but it already has one.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news